Hello and welcome everybody to a brand new Let's Play with me, Dwarf Pete, where we will be playing the nation of Urviksten, which some would say is a 4-province minor, but I would say is actually a 4-province empire. For we, much like Byzantium, start out as the last remnants of Black Castanor, which once owned all of Escann, and even some of regular Cannor. But those were the days of old, and now we are left as the only Ebonfrosts on the entire continent. But that doesn't mean all is lost, because we are going to reclaim the Empire. The dragon awakens, starting now. Now you may be wondering, how are we going to go about doing that? And for starters, 1, we're going to build up to our force limit. For 2, my first goal of this campaign is to accept the trolls and their military. In which, that seems a little bit funky, but one does not simply walk into Garudia and not play with some trolls. We do a little bit of trolling here. And my second, and probably the longer goal that's going to take a while, is to unite all the peoples of Garudia, which will involve us conquering the Ravarian Raving Reavers. But that leads us into an excellent talking point, in that Urviksten is one of the few nations in the Anbennar mod that actually gets the ability to raid coasts. That's crazy! And we're going to make good use of that right the heck now by raiding the silly orcs to our south, which, knowing how things go, will probably be our first big enemy. And so the way raiding coasts works is that somebody already beat us to the punch with raiding the orcs. The way raiding coasts works is that you're able to raid coasts of anybody that isn't of your religion and isn't your ally. So, unfortunately, we can't raid the coasts of our fellows here in Garudia, which is the name of this content. However, that gives us a good 100 ducats that we can straight up do, and so we get our first mission. Hear me, men of Urviksten. You are descendants of many heroes, from Urvik to Castanor Ebonfrost. We have fought to protect our homes from the Reachmen. We have fought to take what is ours from them. To the south, Rowanmarch has been dyed grey with orcs. Indeed, Rowanmarch is no more. However, there may be someone who wishes to revive it. Cough, cough, Adshaw. Foul monsters, these orcs, whose green kin had slain Castanor and cast it down. But we Garudians slay monsters. They are naught but larger men who bleed and die, that fight with might not from skill, but from their inherited brawn. Warriors of Urviksten, follow me, heir of Castanor Ebonfrost, for together we will drive these beasts from our lands, and we will unite our brethren. And so we get claims on our immediate surroundings, and one thing that I am actually particularly fond of, and props to the Anbennar team for doing this, is that they fixed Garudia. Garudia used to be, this entire node was one, which made it kind of awkward if you were playing up here, but now they've broken it up into a couple different ones. And so, really, our main goal here, in the initial stages of this campaign, is to try and get control of the Serpent's Head, because virtually nothing gets pulled out if you can manage to get the 2 centers of trade that are in the Dragon Coast. And that's really easy to do, because kobolds live there. Okay, and hopefully there isn't a massive coalition of allied nations, and Abenkomp is, funnily enough, not very strong. So what we're going to do to start off here is not by making our heir into a general. That would be bad. I'd actually like to keep the Ebonfrosts dynasty, please. However, our starting ruler is actually decent, because he is a 2/6 with strict. To not shoot myself in the foot here, I'm ooh, siege pip right off the bat. Thank you, game. And like I was saying, to not shoot myself in the foot, one thing I'm going to do is put in the manpower guy. As much as I enjoy money, losing 2 ducats a month really isn't that bad. Then we're going to put in the military advisor. And the right of council. I like putting these in at the start of the game. One thing that differs with Skalderic, which is our religion, is that it sucks at doing any type of conversion. That's because it comes with local missionary strength -2, or maybe I read that wrong. It gets converted really easily. No, bad Pete. That means other people can't convert it. It doesn't particularly have any interesting modifiers in the just regular description of the religion. However, tolerance of the true faith is okay, I suppose. It does get access to 9 distinct deities, much like Hinduism in the base game. And of these, I find core creation, discipline, national unrest, and monthly war exhaustion, and infantry combat ability to be particularly useful. There's also dev cost and colonial range if that's your type of thing. And nice, we managed to catch him on our mountain fort for a capital, which means we're probably in a great position. Yep. And the land attrition for the general is actually a pretty great pickup this early into the game. So for this early ruler, you could be tempted to go for discipline. However, I'm going to go for core creation cost, because I know he's not going to live very long. And another thing is that these, once you select one, you're locked in for the rest of the monarch's lifespan. Which I figure some real quick core creation cost while we get these initial provinces secured is quite useful. Which I suppose we can take a look at our ideas, and that'll also help explain why I'm going for troll military. But first I have to do this correctly. And so we get Land Leader Shock, the ability to raid coasts, as we've seen. Raiding coasts, I believe, is on a 5-year timer? I don't actually know off the top of my head. But we'll kill some light ships, because why not? Just seems appropriate. And we'll make sure to sit on this guy's land, so he doesn't get, he's been declared on by 2 other people. Big whoop, I say, but we have to make sure he doesn't, the AI doesn't take land that we don't want them to. Because I would like to hold on first then. And we get a little bit of savings due to our core creation cost, but... And there it is. Frozen Maw has already started the climb north, which kind of scares me. But back to what our idea set is, as I turn the game up a little bit while we wait for the fort to siege down. So we get +1 colonists, which is actually useful, because that means I won't ever have to go for exploration. Oh, my wife died. Or expansion, although expansion can be good these days. We also get access to +5% discipline. I always love seeing that. We get 10% goods produced modifier, which that I particularly like. We also get culture conversion cost, which is a fascinating one, because that'll allow us to convert more provinces to trolls very easily. Who, by the way, is getting wrecked by Bjarnrik. Hopefully they don't all die out by the time we get over there, because I'd actually like to fulfill that campaign goal. Next we get force limit modifier and maintenance modifier, which is quite handy, and this is the main reason why I wanted to go for trolls, is because I know trolls get shock damage, and I'd like to stack that more so. We also get core creation cost, which is always nice to see in Anbennar, and admin efficiency, which is great for the early game. And that brings us to the end of that war, perfectly timed, one could say, which leads us to Nogsball as our next target. But I think it would be, one, a good idea to set up our merchants, such that it would be helpful. And two, it's probably a good idea to set up our rivals, which maybe an early alliance with Bjarnrik could be useful here. Possibly. Actually, better idea. Let's try and buddy up with Gwed or with Laurent. Either securing an alliance early on with one of these two would be quite useful. And just double check that my force limit hasn't increased. Now we could go into a real quick war, but the main reason I'm against that, well, I suppose we could. Screw it. Why not? I am all about doing stupid moves here. By the way, if you're a fresh viewer and you're just turning in, we start new campaigns, one every month, I'd say. And those campaigns are typically done through voting, which will either be done on Straw Poll or on YouTube. And this will give us a permanent claim on the Olabsland area, which is here, which we could co-belligerate Red Garhaven. However, he's not allied to anybody. And he's being attacked by Bjarnrik, who has a claim on him. Interesting. Now, I happen to know that the AI will never take more than 3 provinces deep. We'll see if Bjarnrik does that. Did he kill off the trolls? No, he didn't. Ooh, fascinating. There's a chance for us here to vassalize the trolls or something. But I'm not going to... No, I'm not going to no-CB them. I had to think about that one for 2 seconds. Okay, so this would make a perfect time to go in against Nogsball. We will do so. Hopefully we can stack wipe them. Chances are we can't. Oh well. Oh! Okay. We will leave behind you guys, and there's no good way to attack into that. Reason I'm not is because we would, 1, be crossing a river, and 2, attacking into forests. So I'll just wait for him to do something stupid, like, say, attack into my capital. At which point, I'll have the advantage. And we are playing as a monarchy, but we do get access to a pretty interesting second tier, which is Unbound Commoners, which gives national unrest and decreases the influence of the... Ooh, half-price discipline? Yes! One thing I'm going to do real quick to make that even better is take up the 4 tiers of something. And we can definitely race him in seeing who gets whose capital first. Oh! He's actually... Interesting. Now, I happen to know that the... Okay, let's just get in there. And I'd rather take out his army here now. I happen to know this island is an absolute pain to get, so what we'll probably end up doing is separate piecing him with humiliation. Because I do not want to fight that island. I hate fighting for that island. There's sand there, and it's coarse, and it gets everywhere. And I hate sand. Actual reason, he usually keeps a large navy there, and I just have no desire to fight that. I will not build the boats if I don't have to. And I will not rant about boats if I don't have to. Okay, and with that, there goes most of his army. And please just kill him dead. Awesome. Okay. So we'll break off you guys, send the rest of you onto his capital, and split up. And look for clues, like Zoink's game. And with that, that breaks him. We definitely got some high war exhaustion, but that doesn't matter to me. So we're gonna induct the burghers. I don't feel like taking loans just this moment. We're almost in a point where we're financially stable. Really what we're waiting for here is just so we can start taking control. We'll have 2 centers of trade here. Actually, just the one. Actually 2. Because we'll have the island and then Awakens. Which, admittedly, this isn't the greatest trade node, but it is something. And this would give us permanent claim on Castanor and something else to read while we wait for this to siege down. The Ebonfrosts dynasty is known infamously throughout all of Cannor as great conquerors. Cough cough. Please don't give me an enemy with that game. In 865, after Anbennar exploded, Castanor Ebonfrost, once a lowly reaver, rose to greatness when he conquered all of Castanor in 1 year. All of Castanor in 1 year? What? Goodness gracious, that's all of this. He secured his rule by passing their trials after smashing his way past their armies, and forever changed the trials to be available only for his hereditary heir. His dynasty ruled Castanor until 1015, when Castan the Lii, the mini Castan, Castan the X. Fun fact about Castanor, all of their rulers' names are Castan. Why this is? I don't know. When Castan the Mini's enthrallment was broken, which led to his death by Nichmare the Sorcerer King. Fortunately, he was succeeded by 2 sons and a daughter. Garrick, one of his sons, unsuccessfully attempting to reclaim Castanor, the Urvik went north and reclaimed his namesake. Castan Ebonfrost's ancestral home of Urviksten and his daughter Alvara married Urien Starsworn of Silurian fame. We are the descendants of these great men and women. I, the 68-year-old with well-connected, Jarl Karl II. Ebonfrost shall not let their names down, especially not by losing my capital. But we will pick up the next Miltech. And so we get a permanent claim on the Castanor area. I could pick this up right now, but core creation cost for 30 years. I'd rather wait until we were within striking range of Bjornrik. And there goes Redgarhaven's army. And unfortunately that doesn't get us all the things we want, huh? I wonder if by unsieging this province we'll do something. Yes! This is really good because A, I don't want to have to fight him again, and I'd rather have him on the mainland. Fight him. Hopefully Bjornrik doesn't control him, but we'll take 13 ducats because why not? And then we'll finish off Nogsball. And what that does is gets us to a point where our PP is big. It has to be. We are Castan's descendants. And so we shall probably be good. Now, how bad is the economy? This is Garudia, so we are piss poor for quite some time. And it doesn't help that everything's completely burned. So I think what we'll do is wait. We're already at speed 5. We can go ahead and click for the next one. Olavland has always been fractured among small jarldoms, precariously perched between sea and mountains. Urviksten has prided itself on being the largest, although the truth is that the land is nothing but rock and crag. Can confirm it's crap. The Ebonfrosts of Urviksten cannot last forever as lords of empty mountains. We must integrate the lowlands of Nogsball and Awakens by force, if necessary. And so that gives us a spell against Skaldsola, which fascinating. You would get me in a war with Chelmador and Serpent Guard. Really? Chelmador, which brings in Serpent Guard, which brings in Reach Spear. Now that is fascinating for a couple of reasons. It would allow me to get down to Gwed early, which would potentially allow me to ally him. Fascinating. Either way, we'll see if we can get, say, an alliance with... Let's just check real quick who's the closest one to allying us. Adshaw wouldn't be bad if we're trying to go to war with Chelmador, who is hated by Adshaw. Interesting. Okay, that would work well then. We can go ahead and make these boys into a state. We will full core them. And right. I don't think we'll be developing the institution this early on. It's going to be particularly painful. That's fascinating though that Skaldsola got into a trading league with Chelmador and Reach Spear. And I do wonder how much we would get if we were able to take Reach Spear. Because if we were able to take Reach Spear, that pretty much changes the game. So I tell you what, let's improve with Frozen Maw. An alliance with them would also be an Omega Lull. We'll go ahead and improve that. And right. We could develop a little, but at this point in the game I would say tech is more than useful. One thing we do have going for us, though, is that we have strict. So we're at 110% discipline. Man, now I really regret going for the core creation cost. We can go ahead and get an alliance with Adshaw, which helps us secure ourselves. Would also help us to prevent massive problems when it comes to... yes, Cold Market as well. The reason we're allying here is because it'll help with aggressive expansion when we take out Reach Spear, which I think is possible. Yes. So it's 17% to take his province. However, if we hold his province, and then we take it along with Skaldsola, then that can be done. And does this get any cheaper? No, so we'll go ahead and just pick it up right now. And we'll go ahead and go for double shock pips, because shock is the most useful right now. And I will also check... Man, still can't get any upgrades to our military. So what we'll do is decrease the war exhaustion a little. That'll help with the unrest. And yeah, get it one more tick. Then we can do this and this. So we no longer have to worry about rebels. Now, Skaldsola doesn't have an army, so we could do something as simple as putting a troop onto their capital. Although I don't suspect that they'll be able to summon anybody. So we'd purely be fighting for control of the mountain fort. If they come to me, then I'll be able to win. Is Chelmador Elven military? I don't think so. It's a bit difficult to tell sometimes in Anbennar. Okay, I say go big or go home. This is a Dwarf Pete campaign, we're going for it. Even though I just pissed off the estates. But, who cares? That's their problem, not mine. They'll be happy again by the time I win. Okay, so let's think about this. We have a little bit of money to play with. We can potentially get for a cold market as an ally. Yes, wait just a month here. Ooh. Actually, we could potentially get him as an ally. Oh my goodness, this is this is quickly turning into a fascinating campaign. When in doubt, when Bjarnrik takes the reign and attacks early on, what do? We ally Rosenmoth. All we have to do is get him to friendly, and we'll no longer have to worry about him. One other thing we can do is go ahead and play a little loan economics here, and take out the loans again, so now we have 150 ducats to play with. And we've also got Cold Market and Adshaw on our side. Gwed, we might be able to swing to our side, maybe. So now the real question is whether we can get you, which I don't think is going to happen. Just need to get you not furious, which could potentially happen. You have a claim on me? Okay. At least you don't have any of my land directly. Okay. What we're going to do then is click on this mission, which is, our warriors might be the best in all of Garudia. That talent wanes in the sight of the monstrous gray beasts that have emerged from the northern past the giant's tears, however. The gray beasts have subjugated our old enemies, and now we're trying to make alliances with them. Of Rowan March in one fell swoop. But we are not Reachmen. We are Garudians. We adapt where they remain rigid. The Reachmen failed to defend their mini-castles. We will remain vigilant for the invisible attack. An inevitable attack. And we will be ready with fortifications that will give them dread. And so we as a country... Nope, that's a province modifier. It gets fort maintenance, attrition for enemies, and local defensiveness. So the idea here is that we try and beat up anybody that comes. Okay, and as soon as that fort is done building, I say we go full tilt, and we just go for it. Why not? Yes, it's going to cost a lot of money, but everything costs money in this stinking Garudia. And of course we get no autonomous help, because life in Garudia sucks. And to that end, we're also not going to pick up the next admin tech. I think admin coring is much better at this time. And, okay, it's 2.4, so we would need 6 clicks to get an extra thing. Alright. Ooh. That changes it. Okay. Ooh. Come on, just switch to friendly. I know you want to. Come on. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started with Skaldskola. Oh, man, I waited too long. Well, I suppose it's not a Dwarf Pete campaign without talking for too long, so much so that you lose your claims. That being said, if we can get what's-his-face on our side, Frozenmaw, that would make for a great, easy march into Bjarnrik. And I just have to check. Oh, you're allied with Bjarnrik, are you now? Okay, that's going to be an interesting one. I'm willing to bet that our troops... Am I willing to bet? I'm willing to bet that our troops can beat Bjarnrik one-on-one, but I'm not convinced of that. Now, is there anybody I could do a silly no CB against? Yes, there is. Okay, we could no CB Everwharf. It would be... Nope, way too much aggressive expansion. And thankfully, at least, Frozen Maw hates us. Even though he's a kind-hearted ruler, he doesn't want to deal with me. And oh no, our general died. It's perfectly alright. Okay, so next steps will probably be attacking Redgarhaven, which ends in 63. But until then, we need to... we could probably do some raiding. I always forget to do so, but we might as well. Nope. Yes. Give me that money. 3 ducats. Right. We've already been there. Other reason we have to claim everybody is because they keep stealing all my ducatage. And there goes our core creation cost guy. So now we could probably go with the discipline to try and keep the same amount of military strength. Although I definitely wouldn't mind having some more force limit. Although we are definitely going to be in pain there if we do go troll military. Which... I got him as a vast. No, 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 stop. It's not worth taking 2 stab. Okay. And we'll go ahead and take this province. And that finishes our claims over Garudia. And okay. All we need to get to now is just 20% autonomy, crown land I should say, and then we will no longer have autonomy problems, which will help quite a bit. And we could click that, but it's not worth it, so instead we'll go with Diptech for now. And... yeah. We can go ahead and select new rivals. Reach Spear is a great one. Bavich. You could also go with Envermark is also a good one. Go ahead and tell them that they suck rocks, which gets us the power points. We can also go ahead and issue embargoes upon them. And we're doing this all so we can keep this just for a little bit longer, because I like points. Okay, that's all good to go. We could boost our stability just up a little bit, which we will. Always useful to have it. And okay. Next faith will be decided in the next episode. As always, thank you for watching. And stay tuned to see how the dragon awakens and whether we actually get over-trolled military.